Hello everyone, I welcome you all to my React.js tutorial. Today is day 1 of React.js tutorial. So before starting our tutorial, let me tell you this is my channel where you will find videos on Angular 8. Please go to the video who are interested to learn Angular 8. And even you will find videos on CSS3, 3 videos on CSS3. Even you will find some videos, 4 videos on HTML5. So please go through these videos who are interested to learn Angular 8, CSS3, HTML5. You will get a practical exposure if you go through all this video in a sequence. Okay, so let's close it. So this is my Facebook page. So you are imagining like now I suppose now all of you are thinking why I am displaying this page. Facebook is one of the most popular websites. Most of us have account in Facebook. And let me tell you, this Facebook is designed using entire React.js technology. And so as I open the Facebook, so let me tell you like I have a blog in my Facebook also named Techno UI Export, where you will find all those related YouTube videos and links to those videos in this blog also. Okay, so let me back to the home page. So what I want to say is the entire Facebook page is designed using the React.js technology. Okay. So just imagine the popularity of React.js. So it's nowadays it is gaining more popularity, and most of our upcoming projects or upcoming application is going to be developed on React.js. So to survive in the current world scenario, in the current market scenario, we have to learn React.js application, React.js technology. So I will help you guys, and at the end you will see find work with React.js is just a cakewalk for me. Just be with me. So let me close it. So it's a React.js. So it's a crash course on React.js where we'll cover almost all the concepts of React.js in a short period of time. So those who are interested to get onboarded on project without wasting this time, without wasting much time, this is the correct tutorial for them. Okay, so it's a like I developed this website or I have developed this page by using the React.js application. Here I'm displaying the normal. I'm displaying here hello world, normal text. So because it's day 1, so we already know whenever we'll start any application, we usually prefer to display hello world, so that after this we gain more confident on that technology. Right guys? Okay. So jokes apart, we'll see. So let me tell you, for React.js, I'm using this Visual Studio Code. This is my editor, Visual Studio Code. So this is the editor where we will code React.js. All the coding stuff will be done in this editor. So this is one of the wonderful editors for doing all the UI stuff. So I use this editor for Angular concept also. The same editor for the React.js. And to work with React.js, you have to install Node.js. Okay. So you have to install Node.js in your system. Okay, so here you can find the exe file for Node.js. So on the basis of your system, whether it's a 64 or 32-bit, you can install. Current version is this one, and this is the recommended version for most users. Once you install Node.js, you will get npm with that Node.js. npm is the Node package manager, and that is needed like for downloading the packages and dependencies that we require for our React.js application. Okay, so what we have to do to get started with the project, you have to download the Visual Studio Code editor. Then you have to download the Node.js. That's it. Okay. So after all this, like we are ready for coding stuff. So if you see, once you download the Node.js, you will get a Node.js command prompt. This is the Node.js command prompt. So in Windows machine, we already have a command prompt that won't help us. So we need a Node.js command prompt that will be available once we download the Node.js. So once you download the Node.js and once you install it, how can we check the version of Node? we can check the version of Node by using node-c. Okay, so it will give the version of Node that I am using is 12.9.1. So once we install Node, this Node is coming with npm also, which is Node Package Manager. So let me check the version of npm also. So Node Package Manager is needed for downloading the packages and dependencies that we need in our application. So after this, if you get like npm version and Node version, that it means your Node.js is installed correctly. So now we are ready to work on React.js. So what to work with React.js, we have to create a project. For creating the project, so see, let me tell you, like in the React.js applications, we'll code in ES6 JavaScript, which is a higher version of JavaScript, but most of our browser does not understand ES6, so that we have to compile ES6 to ES5. This compilation of ES6 to ES5 is done by Babel. And also once we like create our applications, like application consists of different files, different modules, then we need to like for deploying our application, we need to bundle it in one static file so that we can deploy in the server. This bundling of our application is done by Webpack. So to work with the React.js, we need to install Babel, because Babel transpiles ES6 code into ES5 that most browser will understand. Then Webpack for bundling so that we can deploy our application. Okay, so like we have to install these two software to work with the React.js. But thanks to Facebook that like coming to help in this situation. What they have done, so they have created a React. There is a command like we have to install. The command name is create React Hub. npm install -g create React Hub. So create React Hub help us in creating our React project, and it will install all the dependency like Babel, Webpack, and other React modules. So this create React App is created by Facebook. So Facebook comes into help because it reduces the need of downloading Babel, installing the Babel, installing the Webpack. So if we run this command, our Webpack packages, our Babel packages, everything, and along with that other dependency for React.js application will get downloaded. So this is important. So what we have to do, we have to run this command. So we have to go to the Node.js command prompt. So here just type that command and press enter. So if you see, it will install create React Hub in globally. -g means G for global. We are installing in globally. Why we are installing the create React App in globally? Because like if you need something to execute in your terminal, so we need to install in globally. Something means now after installing the create React App, we need this create React App for our further processing. So that's why we need to install that in globally. So what we have to do, just press enter. It will install in your machine globally so that we can use create React App command in the terminal. Okay. So it will take a couple of minutes for installing the create React App in your machine globally. So I already have installed it in my machine, so I don't want to install it again. So let me close this. I don't want to install this. So after you install, what we have to do, so once you install, let's open one more window here. Okay. So after you install npm install -g create React App, then the next is you have to create a project. So for creating the project, what we have to do, go to the any folder or any disk that where you want to create. So I want to create my project in the D drive. So let me go to the D drive. So then what we have to write for creating the command for creating a project is create React App, then project name. You can give project name of any choice. I have given the project name as photo wall. Then press enter. Okay. So this is the, so if you see, we are using create react app. So how we are able to use the create react app? Because we already have installed create react app global. So for using the create react app in the command prompt for creating the project, we have to install create react app globally in our machine. That is the thumb. Okay, so just press enter. It will download all the packages that is being needed for your application. It will create your application folder with some boilerplate code. Okay, so I already have created this project, so I don't want to create it again. Okay, so let me close this. So once this is happened, then your project gets ready. So what we have to do, you have to open your project from the Visual Studio. So what we have to do, click on the file, go to open folder and select the project that you have created. I created the project in my D drive. This is project app. So select it, then it will be shown in the editor. So I already had selected, no need of selection. So I have done all this because to save time, because installation and all those steps will take more time and we won't get much time for coding. That's why I have done all these steps. Okay, so up to this, what we have done, we have installed create react app globally. We have created the project by using command create. So the command for creating the project is create react app. Then the project name. Okay, this is the command for creating the React project. Any application based on React.js. Okay. So once it is done, our project gets ready. So if you see this project, if you see the structure of the project, this is the node module. If you expand this node module, you will find the packages being installed in the node module. So if you are aware of the Angular technology, so this is same package. The folder name is same. In Angular also we find a node module where all the packages are installed. So React.js is almost same. So we'll find all the packages installed in the node module. So for instance, if you see the Babel package is also installed. So Babel I already explained it is needed for transfiling our ES6 JavaScript to ES5. So that's why as we are using create react app, which is being created by Facebook, thanks to Facebook, we don't have to install Babel manually. So everything is being done by just executing the npm command. Likewise, we find Webpack also. Okay, so all those kind of stuff are being installed for us thanks to Facebook. Then what next? So once you created the once you loaded the project in the Visual Studio Code editor, next what you find, you have to execute that project. You have to build that project. For building your project, what we have to do? So I already have built it. So if your project is already running, to stop the project, you have to press Ctrl C. Okay. So your project will be ended. Now I want to build my project, or I want to compile my project so that I will run in the browser. For that the command is npm start. Okay, this is the command npm start. It will compile your application and it will start a live server for you so that you can host your application in that live server. Okay, so let me press enter. You'll see it will build my application. So it is building my application. So it will take a couple of minutes. So it will host your application in a web server, the live web server. See, or by default, it opens my default browser. You will see your application, whatever stuff you have coded, you will see it in your default web browser. So this is what I coded. So I am let me close the previous tab. So in this way, like it works. Like to build or to host your application, you have to execute npm start. So if you see, it starts the development server for you and it compile your application successfully. If everything gets success, you can host your application at this port, localhost 3000. Okay, so this is way how you can host your application. The next things what comes is, like once we created the project by using the command that I have shown you, like create React app, then the project name, then you will get a, when the project is created for you, then you will find there are a lot of file in that project. So just whatever the, just expand your src, you will find a lot many files here. So what you have to do, just delete everything whatever being in src except index.js file. So let me tell you, src is a folder where we code actually. So all the coding stuff we'll do in the src folder. So src folder is the most important for us. So in src folder by default we will find, once you load your application for the first time, you will find a lot of files available in src. So those files are not of any importance for us. So just delete everything. Just keep index.js file. We'll code in index.js file. This component folder you won't find when you like load your application, because this component folder I have created, and why I have created we will see that today itself in a bit. So what I am saying, in src you will find app.js file, then service worker file, all those means, along with that you will find app.css file. So whatever is present, just delete everything except index.js. In src you should have only index.js page. Okay, that's it. So let me, we'll come to these files later. And if we expand the public section, you see there is a file index.html file. This is our template file that is being rendered in our application, in our website. So this is the main HTML file that is usually that is being rendered in the browser. So it's a single page application, and you know, single page means there is only one page and all the content will be included in that page. So whatever the content you request, it will be just injected into that page, so that we don't have to reload that page again and again. So let's suppose I am in, you can say like in a practical website. So let's go to practical website also. You can see, you can imagine now I am in home tab, and now I want to go to my product tab. So on click of product tab, whatever the content of the product, that will be rendered in my index.html page. Then if I click on the home page, whatever the content for the home will be rendered in index.html page. So what I want to say is, index.html is the main template. On the basis of user requested page, the page content will be rendered in the index.html page, so that it will, like, the user will feel like it's a single page, because only the content which is being requested, that is being refreshed. Rest of the content is as it is. Okay, that's right. We are developing a single page application in React.js. So what I want to say is, like, index.html is the main template that is being rendered in the browser. Okay, so it is, we don't do any coding stuff here. So let me close this. Okay, so the main area of interest is index.js file. Okay, here we'll code, and if you see in our application we are seeing the hello world, how it is being displayed. We'll come to that. So what we have to do, we have to import this React package. So React package we will find in node module. So if we expand the node module, and if we will scroll down in alphabetical order, let's go to React. Yeah, we will find the React package. So you will also find others related to React, even the React DOM that we have imported here also. React. If package also you will find it node module. So these packages are coming from the node module, and these packages is being installed just by executing the command create React app, then the project name. This is the command that will create the node module with the required packages. And if you see, this is the package.json file. This is also one of the important files. You will find all the information about the packages that is being necessary for our application, or that is being installed in the node modules folder. So if you see, we have React package of version 6.13.1, React DOM of version 6.13.1. So you'll find the package along with version package.json file. So it's a documentation, like this file document the packages or dependency along with its version. Okay, let's close it. So we'll come to the react.js file. So we see how we can render a text using the React.js. So for that, what we have to do, you have to import React. So this is the code: import React from React. So React is a library. It is being imported in this variable. Okay. Then import React DOM from React-DOM. React-DOM is also one library. Then what we have to do, there is a function on React, that is React.createElement. Here we are creating an element. So we are creating a h1 element, the header element. You can create span, you can create the paragraph, any element you can create. So I am creating the h1 element. Then here it is the props. So we'll come to that props. What we mean by props later. So here we don't need any props. So we are giving null value here. Then the text that will be means the content for h1. So whatever the content we will provide here, that will be displayed within the h1 tag. Then we have to so it is the React.createElement will create an element. The element you can consider as an object that will be assigned to this constant element. So once it is created, so what next? Next thing is, just scroll down, we have to use React DOM. That's why we have imported React DOM from React-DOM. Okay, so this is we have to do React DOM dot render element. Element is the object. So let me bring it to the top so that it will be easy for understanding. I will bring it to the top. Here. So once we created the element, we are creating the h1 element with the content. Then the next thing is we have to render that element so that we are able to see that in the browser. For rendering that element, the function is render. It is available in React DOM. That's why we have to import React DOM package. React DOM.render is the element that we have created. Then we need to render it using some container. So the container is, so where it will be rendered? It will be rendered in all the, I already mentioned, everything will be rendered in index.html page. It is our main test. Index.html page, if you see within the body tag, we have a div tag having id as root. So every content, all the content will be rendered within this div tag. So how we can access this div tag having id equal to root? For accessing that, we have to do document simple JavaScript code document.getElement by id. Why element by id? Because we are given id. Okay, equal to root. If it's class, then getElement by class is to be. Okay, getElement by id, then root, which is the id name. So what it will do? The content for this element. The content for this element is hello world. That will be rendered within this div tag in index.html. So if we'll save it, so let me add one window also. If I'll save it, you will see it will auto compile our application. Our page will be refreshed automatically. We don't have to refresh our page. Let me set it. So it is behind the scene, it is compiling our application. Okay, so almost it compiled our application. So it is compiling. So compilation is not completed yet. So it is written compiling. So let's wait. So it is compiled. Our web page get reloaded also, and we will find the content change. Hello world with an exclamation. Okay. So we don't have to refresh the page. It will be auto refresh if everything get compiled successfully. Okay. How we can know it is compiled successfully? We will get this message compiled successfully. Okay. So this is how we can create an element and we can attach the content to that element using React.js. Okay, so for creating an element we have to use react.createElement. Then we have to provide the element that we want to create. For here instance we have h1 element, then we will provide the props. Then we will provide, if there is no props we want to provide, then provide null value. But its props will come to that later. Then we will provide the content for that element. Then up to this we have created the element which is an object. You can consider element as an object. Now we want to attach that object, or we want to render that object. How we can render? For that we need React DOM. That's why we have to import React DOM from React DOM -DOM. Then on the React DOM we have a function which is called render. To the render we have to pass two parameters. One parameter is the object that we want to display, and second parameter is the container to which we need to attach that object so that it will be displayed. So always the container should be the heap element having an id equal to root, which is being present in index.html, because it is the main template which is being rendered in our browser, in our application. Okay, so by this way it will create. So if I will change it to key element, you will see how it looks. The font size, font weight, everything will get in a bit. So I guess it's compiling. So see, on compiling, our page get refreshed and we will get the output that is being rendered. Means it will create a key element and it will attach the content to the key element. That key element will attach to the root node and it will be rendered. That's why the font weight, font size, everything gets changed. Earlier it was h1. Up to this I guess it is clear, right? So this is how we can create an element. We can attach some content to that element. Now we'll see how we can create a nested element in React.js. So for creating a nested element, what we have to do? So let me copy this code below this, and we don't need this code anymore because we already explained. So I'll remove this. Now we'll see how we can create a nested element within an element. Okay. So for that, the best example will be if you use some list element. So as we know, for creating a list, for creating any element, what we have to do? React.createElement, then the element that we have to create. So here I am creating an ordered list. So the symbol is the selector for that is OL. Then we don't want any props. Then we have to provide null. Then within the list we can provide as many lists as we want. So I am providing two lists. So for creating the li element or li selector, we have to again take use of create element, react.createElement li. We don't need any props for this, and the content for li should be copy. Means any content you want to display in a list. And then we need another list item. So we are creating another react.createElement, another li element with content t. So these are the two li elements which are, so you can say these are the two li elements which have the content for ol element, and for each li element we have different content. Okay, and once it is done, so create element means we will create an object that will be assigned to the one constant variable. We can name it as it is, as we like. So the same story repeats. Then we have to render that element. Then we have to call the render function on React DOM. We have to provide the element that we want to render. Then we have to attach that element to the root node so that it will be rendered within the index.html page. So let me save it. Again, our application compile. See, you'll find the output. Coffee and tea are rendered in a list, so it is the ordered list. Okay. Likewise, you can create as many nested element as you want. Like we can create one h1 element, within that we can create two p element. Likewise, we can create as many h2 element as you want. Okay. So this is how we can create a nested element. So if you see, let's suppose this code somewhat bothers me. So what is like the issues with this code is like, let's suppose I want to represent 100 list. So I have to repeat this react.create element 100 times. So which is a tedious job. I don't want to do that. I need some easy way of writing a nested element. What it will be, we'll see. We don't need this code anymore. So I'll remove this code. So I will cut this and paste it below here. Okay. Let me uncomment this also. So here what I am doing, I am taking help of one array. So I am creating an array task, which is an array of string. I am giving some string value. These are all drinkable items that everyone can, like most of us can be able to drink, right? So these are all drinkable items. So we have a task array, which is an array of string. Then what we have to create an element. For creating element, same story, react.create element. So we want to represent this array items in a list. So we have to use OL for ordered list. If it is an unordered list, we have to use UL selector. Then we don't have under the props or null. Then we need a content for that UL. So here is the content. Here by using the array, how we can display the content. For that, what we have to do, task.map. So map is a function, or you can say it's a ES6 array iteration. So map usually create like a new array from the original array. It won't change our original array. For reference, you can go to you can see in Google like the importance of map in JavaScript array. So it is nothing related to React.js, it is related to JavaScript. So task.map, so it will iterate the array, will get the each task item, means will get coffee at first iteration, second iteration will get tea in task, then we'll save in the third iteration, fourth iteration will be used along with the index number. Then what we are doing, within this we are creating react.create element. Okay, li, because we want a li selector to be created. Then what we are doing, so this is the props that we have to provide, because here we are using an array for iteration. Okay, so for example, I am not providing any props for here also. So if we are not providing, you have to write null. Then each li, so we have to provide the content for li element. This is the content tag. So in this way, we won't have to repeat the li element again and again. It will be done by array. So once again, we have to create an OL selector element. For that, for creating the li element for the OL, for the ordered list, you have to take help of the map operator, which is map function of array. It will iterate the array. Then on each iteration, we have to create one li element. We have to attach the content, means the array content, to that li element. So for the first iteration, this task will be coffee. For second iteration, the content for li will be tea. For third, the content will be milkshake. For fourth, the content will be tea. So in this way, we don't have to repeat the li element. So as it is creating an element, so we have to assign the variable. Then the same story repeat. We have to render it by using the react DOM.render function. Okay. So let me save it. Just see the browser. You will see more list. So you will see there are 4 list items which is being displayed in the browser, even though we are not repeating the li element that we have done earlier. Okay, so let me inspect the element. You'll find there is one error. Okay, what it is showing, it means there is one warning: each child in a list should have a unique key prop. So this error usually comes when we when we create some element by using array iteration. It is saying if we are creating an li element using array iteration, each li element should have a different key prop, so different key value pair. So for that, what we have to do is let me undo my code. Okay, this is how we can provide key within the curly braces colon. This is the index. So it is saying if we are creating some li element using array iteration li, each li element should have a unique key. So for that we have to give key colon index, because index of an array is always a unique one. So if we can give task here also, key colon task, but what it will happen for time being, it will work if our task is also repeated, like here coffee, here also we get coffee, then we'll have the two li element having the same key, then that will cause an issue. So the best way is always give index here. So now we'll creating the li element with a unique, and we are attaching the task content to that li element. So let me save it. We will see, we won't get that error, that one message that we got. Okay, and that one happens if we are creating some element dynamically by using the array iteration. So for that we need to attach one key element, one key for each element created. Okay, this is how we can deal with that, how we can create an element and how we can render that. So after this it is clear, right? So let me, so again means now we'll improve our code. As we progress we are improving our code. So if you see, we have to write react.createElement. So it's a long syntax and it's like cumbersome to write the syntax again and again. Now we'll take help of JSX, which is it's a wonderful language that is being used in React.js to make our code more easier. So how it works, JSX, how it works, we'll see. Okay, so let me scroll down. So this is a JSX code. Okay, this is what I am saying, JSX code, how it will reduces the number of lines of code that we have to write. So for JSX we'll uncomment this code. Then you have we want this React DOM.renderer below here. Okay. So if you see, using JSX we don't have to write React.createElement. We can write directly the tag, and within the tag we can append or we can nested the tags. So we have OL element, and within that we have two li element nested within the OL tag. So in this way we can nested different tags within the parent tag, and we don't have to use of the React.createElement every time. So in this way also we can create an element. So it's an element, so which is an object, we can say it is assigned to a variable element. Then the same story, we have to render that element. So let me remove this code. It is of no use now, because React.createElement we are not going to use anymore. This is for knowledge purpose, because as we progress we will keep on improving our coding perspective, the coding way. So now onward we will use JSX way of displaying of the JSX way of creating website. Okay, so we don't use the React.createElement anymore. Let me remove this. Okay, so if we'll save, just keep an eye on the browser. the list will be refreshed. Now it is displaying two lists because within the OL element we have two LI elements. Okay, and this is the JSX way of writing the code. Now the same story, the same question. If we have more than one, like if we have 100 LI element, 100 list to represent, we have to repeat LI element 100 times. How we can make this easier? How we can generate our LI element or nested element dynamically? For that, what we have to do? Need to comment this code. So if you see here, we are taking the help of one array having same thing, array having some printable item, means it's an array of string. Then we are creating OL element, then LI element. We can access the array index by using array name square bracket and index. 0 means coffee, 2 means index will be milkshake, because array will start at 0 index. This is the 0 index, this is the first index, this is the second index. So array 2 means milkshake, array 3 means juice. And as we are representing, as we are accessing the array index, array value by using the index approach, so we have to place that in a curly braces. Okay, this is where like it will retrieve the value from the index. We'll remove this line of code, we don't need anymore. Okay, so let me save it. We'll see the same, like if you see task 0 means coffee, task 2 means milkshake. That's why two element is being displayed. If I will remove this curly braces, what you will see, what it is happening. So let me remove curly braces for one element. So if you see, the first list is displaying task square bracket 0, means it is treating this as a text. So it means if there is any JavaScript expression, we have to display in a curly braces. Okay, this is the JSX way of coding. If there will be any JavaScript expression means I want to retrieve the value from the array by using the index. So it's a JavaScript expression, we have to represent that in a curly braces, right? So if you step again, everything gets rectified. Okay, so let me scroll down. Let me remove this. So it is of no use. Now every time we have to write this line because this is needed for render. Without this, we are not able to see whatever we have written. Okay. Okay, so let me uncomment this block of code. So here earlier I asked a question, if we have 100 element or more than 100 list, means 100 number of list, 100 number of item to be represented in a list, how? So for that we have to repeat the LI element 100 times. But how we can create that using the for loop, or how we can create the LI element dynamically? So for that, what we have to do, we have to just forget about these two lines. Let me remove this coding size. Okay, so let me check. Just give me a moment. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to use the same OL tag. Within the OL tag, what we have to do, within the curly braces. Okay, because here we are writing a JavaScript expression. Here we are iterating an array. We have to play with the array. This is the array dot map operator. Map used for manipulating an array. It will create a new array without changing the original array. Say JavaScript concept. So it is happening to parameters one task. So each task corresponding to these strings. For the first iteration coffee, second tea, third iteration milkshake, then it is the index of iteration. Then we have a arrow symbol. This is the arrow function. This is the ES6 concept. So this is nothing related to React.js. So then what next? We have to create a LI element, and as we are doing like work with an array, as I told, when we are working with the array, we have to attach a key to that element. Okay, So key equal to, here we are attaching the index. So key always attached to the open tag. Got it? So key should get attached to the open tag. So here key then is the content which we want to attach to the li element. So if we remove key right, we will see the same issues here. So we have an array, we are iterating to an array, we are creating the li element for each array because each item to be represented in a list. Then we are providing the content for that li element. So it's a content, so it should be also in a curly braces. Every JavaScript expression should be in a curly braces, right? So let me say, you will see our list is created dynamically. You don't have to repeat the li element again and again. Clear guys? After this, okay, so let me, if you see, we are getting the same warning. Each child in a list should have a unique key, because here we are using array iteration. The same issue that we have seen while using the React dot create element. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to provide a key for this li element, a unique key. So let me undo my code. We'll find, so key equal to index. So index should be, index is the unique one which is in an array. So array index will always be an unique one. So we are providing this to the key. So it's also a value. It should be in a curly braces. Right. Then the same story repeats. We have to render. Let me save it. You won't get the issues again. Okay, that issues. So key is necessary. Unique key is necessary when we are creating the li element dynamically using some loop or using some iteration. Okay. So this is what. Then let's suppose, yeah, I missed that concept. So let's suppose I want to give a text to this list. So I want to give a header tag to this list, or I want to give a description for this list. How we can get? So I mean, how we can create another element, another tag, not element, another tag. So let me undo my code. Okay. So this is the code. So now I want to attach a description, a header for the list. So we have to write I want to display in h1 tag. So h1 tag, we have to provide the content for that h1 tag. If you see, the extra thing is we are using div tag. So it means, like, see, this div tag is necessary. If we have more than one selector or more than one element to be created, we need to enclose that in a div tag. More than one element means here we have one h1 element, another is ol element. We won't consider li because it is nested within the ol. So we have h1 element, another is ol element. There are two elements. So how we can create two elements and assign to one variable? Not possible. That's why we have to enclose these two within a div tag, so that it will create will be treated as a single element. Okay, so we'll see without including the div tag. Okay, we'll see the error. Save it. So we'll see the error, failed to compile. So what it is saying, parse error, adjacent element must be wrapped in an enclosing tag. So it is saying the adjacent element or the sibling element should be enclosed within the some ending tag. Okay, so here it is saying it should be like, the tag should be like this way, some starting and ending tag we have to put the adjacent element. So for that enclosing tag we have to use div. Okay, so that it will treat entire thing as a single element. Let me save it. We'll see. It will get compiled successfully, and we are getting the list along with the description for that list, string items. So these are all printable items. Okay. In this way, we can create more than one element by enclosing within a div tag. So up to this, everything is clear, right? The JSX way of coding. Okay. Then we'll remove this. Now we'll see how we can write this code in a component wise. So here comes the bench tool. Why we are using the React.js. React.js is basically component-based language, just like an Angular technology. So in React.js also everything is a component. So we can imagine a website having a navigation bar with some content. Okay, so so you can also consider this as like we are displaying this in our website. So let me, if I want to create this text in a different component and this content is in a different component. So this is, let's suppose this text is in a text component and this list is in a list component. So this is component 1 and the list is in component 2. If we combine component 1 means this text and the component 2 means this list, then we'll get a main component. That main component we have to render. So in our application also it will be in this similar way. Everything, like we can consider navigation bar as a one component, the user page as a second component, the login page as a third component, product page is as a fourth component, and we'll glue that component together so that we'll create our entire application, the main component that we need to render in our web page. Okay, so we'll see. Now we have written everything in a single place. Now we will divide that in a different component. This will be in a different component, this will be in a different component. Okay, for that what we have to do? For that, first of all we have to import the component. So here we are using only import React. Okay, so we are importing React only, so we need to import component also. So we'll remove this code and comment the above code. We have to import component for that within a curly brace from React, same library, and React DOM by default is necessary for rendering purposes. Then what we have to do, once we create a component, let me undo this and comment this block of code. Next we have to create a class of any name. I'm creating a class list for representing this list. Okay, class list. So it's a class. We need to create, means we need to convert this class into component. How it can be done? We have to extend component. So this list is extending the component. So we are extending the component. So component class has a method render. We have to override that render method here. So what is the syntax of this render method? So in the render method we will return the element that we have created. So here we have to return the element. So for creating the element, same thing, the tag. Then if we want to create an li element using this array, same iteration, map iteration, we have to attach a key to each li element. Then whatever the element we have created, earlier we are assigning to const element, but here we won't assign to any const element, will return directly from the render function of component. Okay, likewise we have another class, title. Okay, so whatever the class will create, you have to extend the component so that the class will be converted into component. Then we have to override the render method. In that render method we are creating a normal element, h1 element with some text. For this I am creating this in a different component, the title component. Then we have to return that using the return statement. That's it. Then once we created this title component and list component, we need to combine this into a main component, and that main component will be rendered. For combining, what we have to do, we have to create one main component. This is the main component. So again, same thing, class, we have to extend component, then the render method, then we have to use the div tag. I told you, right, if you want to include more than one element, then we have to enclose that in a enclose tag. So we have to use the div is used for enclosing the tags. So we have a div tag, we are using the title. So let me remove the second list, we will come to that. So we are using a title along with, so this title means this corresponding to this class. So whatever whatever the element we have created here, that will be rendered within by using this tag. So we have to close and open. So then list also will be same as the class name. It is the selector for that class name, or we can say instance of the class list. Okay. The title is an instance of title class, and list is an instance of list class. So title is creating h1 element and list is creating an ordered list. Okay. So as these are two different element or two adjacent selector we are creating, so we have to enclose that in a div tag, otherwise it will throw an error. Then entire will be treated as a single element, and that we have to return. So now main is a component, is a class, or we can say is a component that is joining, that will be created by combining the list and title component. Then this is the main component that we will render later on. Okay. So for render, what we have to do? So we are okay. So for render, what we have to do? We have to do write this one. Okay, then here, yeah, correct. We have to render the main component. Okay, and this way, like we will create an instance by using this open and close selector, close tag. Okay, so it will create an instance of main class. This is the main class, and main class contains both the content of title as well as list. Okay, so let me add some new item in the list so that we will see. So up to this, if you see the browser, we are seeing juice. Last list is juice. We are adding one filtering to that so that we'll see whether our web page is refreshing or not. You understood? Like we have to create one class list, one component list component for the list items, another component title component for the title, then the main component for combining these two components. And once the main component is created, we have to render that main component by using react dom.render. Here, instead of using the element, because we are not creating an element, so we have to create an instance of main class. Then we have to, the same story repeat, we have to attach that to the root node. It will say here, just keep an eye here, we will get one more fifth list here. To compile and see cold drinks get added. In this way, we can render by using the component concept. Okay, so let's suppose, so this is my list. I want to add one more list just below this list. How it can be done? It can be done by using list. We have to create the instance of the same list, open and close tag. Okay, let me save it. You will see another list being added. So why we are using the component? Here comes the advantage. Component is basically used for reusability. Now I need this list component one more time. So we have to write again this list selector just below the second list. Likewise, then we'll get third list get added just below the second list. So in this way we can use the list component as many times as we require. Like it is reusable. That's why component approach is being taken in React.js. So now comes the question. So the main advantage I will see the reusability in Facebook. I need to open the Facebook again. So we'll relate everything to the Facebook because it is the best examples where we can give. So if you see this is my post by one of my friends. Then you'll see this is the post from each image. These are the posts from, like you can see this video post from the Modi ji. Okay, so this means we can consider this post as a post component, and we are repeating that post component again and again with some different content. So how we are repeating the post component again and again, just like the list component, but here we have the same content for each list component. But in the Facebook, if you see, each post is having different content. Now the question is how we can display the list with some different content. So for that we will take use of props. Here comes the use of props that we have used a lot many times. This terminology that we have used a lot many times. So here the use of props. So for that, let me remove this code. So same thing, we have a list component. Same code is repeated, everything is same. We have a title component. Okay, we have a main component. The concept is same. Okay, and we are rendering the main component because main component combines our list and title component. Okay, so just we start from the main component. We have a title, we have two lists. Now instead of earlier what we are doing, we are providing the list, the items for the list by using this hard-coded array. Now I don't want this hard-coded array anymore. I will provide the data dynamically to the component. How we can pass the data to the component, how we can provide the data to the component by using the props. So this is my first list, in which if you see the list code, we are using task array and we are iterating to the array and we are getting the LILE, right? So this is the task array equal to, we have providing the array content dynamically. So we have to JavaScript expression, so we have to provide in a curly braces the array. This is for the first list, we are providing the 2 array. For the second list, we are providing the array having 3 contents, 3 items. Even for the title also, we are providing an array, title array. We are providing a value dynamically. So array, we are providing value dynamically. So value means whatever value will provide, it should be in a curly braces because it's a JavaScript expression. We'll come to the list. Okay, so here what we need to access, so these are called the props, means the data that we are providing to our selector. So how we can access to these props? For accessing to these props, what we have to do, we have to use of this dot props dot that props name, whatever the name we have given, dot task, then it will give you the array or the props that we have provided. Then the next story to know, the same story repeated. We have to iterate, we have to create an LIL. Then similarly for the title also, we have to write the selector, then within the curly braces this dot props dot whatever the props that we are providing for the title, we have to access that within the curly braces. Okay. So this means these are the only changes. Like we are using the probes for access, so these dot probes for accessing the task to get access to the probes that we have provided in the main component. Even for the title also same, and that should be in a curly braces. We'll see some two different lists because we are using two lists in the main component and we are rendering the main component. We'll see two different lists. Earlier we have three lists having the same content. Now we'll see the two lists having different components, different content. Let me save it. It will refresh. You will see this is my first list having two content. This is my second list having three content. And even you see this title is also being retrieved dynamically. We are not providing any hard-coded title for each one element. We are retrieving through using the probes, whatever the data we have provided to the instance of that class. Okay. So same way Facebook also works. So you can imagine everything as a single post and they are providing the props for that post. On the basis of the props, we are seeing the content, different content for different posts. Okay. Okay, clear? So this is the main use of the props and the component in React.js in Facebook. Facebook is the one of the website which is using this React.js technology for its pages. Okay. So in this way we can provide the props, we can provide the data dynamically to the component and we can access that props by using this dot props property, and that should be in a curly braces. Okay. So now up to this we have seen how we can create an element, how we can render that element by using react.createElement. Second time we improve our code by using the JSX way of creating an element. Then the third step is we have seen how we can create a component so that everything will be reusable. Fourth things we have seen how we can pass the data to the component with the help of props. Okay. Now the fourth step will be how we can refactor our code. Up to this, now we are going to refactor our code. Refactor means, see, we have written everything, all the components are in a single file, in index.js file. Now I will write each component in a different file instead of writing in a single file. So for that, what we have done, I have created a folder within the src. For creating a folder, what we have to do, select the src, click on this. Okay, it will create a folder for you, give some name, the folder will be created. So I have already created the component folder in that way. So once we create this folder, then we have to create some files for that within that folder. I have created three files: list.js, main.js, title.js. For creating the files, what we have to do, select that folder and click on this. This is for the new file. Click on this and give some name with an extension of .js. Okay. So let me open this file one by one. List.js, main.js. So main.js will open later. First list, then second should be title, third should be main.js. Okay. So if you see from the starting, list.js, so everything is a class extending the component. So that's why we have to import React along with component from React library. This above import should be in all the JS files, in all the component that we have created. Okay, title component, in main component also will find. Okay, then what we are doing, whatever the code that we have written earlier, we are copy pasting the code here. So if you see, for the list class, we have written this code. So we are using the same code in list.js file. This code is of no use now as you move. Then in the title page, what we are doing, see we are getting the class means the same code that we have used, that we have written. This one. That's why we are removing this, because now we don't want to write in a single file. Then the main component. So whatever we have written, I have written the same thing here up to this. The main component is not needed. How we are reducing the number of lines of code and how we are refactoring our application. Then if you see in main.js, we have to use the selector for title class as well as the list class, or we can instance of title class as well as the list class. So for that we need to access to the different title and list class. So for that we have to import list from the list folder. We have to import this list file, then title component from title file, title.js file. So for this kind of import, so this import is possible if you have written export. So if you go to the list.js file, we have written export default list. We are exporting the list component. We are exporting, that's why we are able to import. If you won't write export there, we will get an error. Okay. The same thing for the title also, we have to export default title. This is the class name, this is the component name. So as we are exporting, we are able to import here. Then the temporary restrict, we have to provide the props to that component. Whatever the props we are providing here, that will be like for the list item we are providing the props. For the past list item we are providing the props. An array, task array having two items that is being accessible here using this.props.task.then. Then we are providing the props title. For the title component, we are accessing to that by using this.props.title. Okay, so in this way data communication is also have. And what next? So up to this, like, then the next thing is we need to render this main element, because this main element contains list and title, and we have to render that. Then only this content will be shown to the users. Okay. So for that, what we have to do, we have to render this, and we will render this only in index.js file by using react.render the main instance. So but we have removed the main class from index.js. So how we'll get access to this main instance, the main selector. For get access to the main selector, what we have to do, we have to import the main. So we have to write this statement. We are importing the main component from this main component is in the component folder class main.js file. Okay. So here we have written import, but this import will work if we have written export in main.js file. So we have to write export default main. Then only that import will be work. Then we have to render that main component. That's it. Here we are just refactoring our code. We are not changing our code anything. Just we are moving the component to a different files so that the maintenance will be easy. Okay. So to verify whether our content is working or not, so let me change only the title section. So let me add 2 exclamation sign. We'll find the exclamation sign here once we save. Okay. So let me save here. Then let me save here also. See, we are getting 2 exclamation sign, and everything is like we have one list item having 2 list, and we have another list having 3 items, and these items we are providing from the main component dynamically by the use of props, and we are accessing this by using this.props. Right? In this way we can pass data to the component, and we can, like, you can consider this as a, like, let's suppose the title is a post component, and we are providing the different content to that post component, and we are repeating that post component again and again. That's why in Facebook we are seeing different posts with different components, means different content. Okay. So we have covered all these basic things which is being needed to start working on React.js. So to summarize, first we start with creating an element by using react.createElement. Second, like react.createElement is a tedious job. You don't have every time if we are writing react.createElement, it will be tedious for it's a covered some process. So to avoid that, we are using JSX code. So JSX way of coding. So JSX way of coding, in this we don't have to write create element. We are writing directly the tags. Then we are moving whatever the element we are creating. We are now moving that to a component for better reusability. So for using the component, we have to import component from React library. Then we have to create a class that extend the component. So we have to override the render function of component. The render function, whatever the selected that will, whatever the element that will create, that we have to return. Then next step we have seen how you can pass the data to the component. Then at the end we have seen the refactoring of our code, like each component in a different file. And for rendering, we have to render the main component by using React DOM.render. Then we have to use the selected for that main component. That's it. Thank you guys for watching. We'll meet again with the next video on React.